I'm good.
Cool. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the GCL podcast. I'm your host, PJ, and today we have on Aidan, a regular here, and our very own COO. So, welcome, Aidan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so to the listener, if you are interested in both gaming and cryptocurrency, then you've come to the right place. As always, if you enjoy our talks or have any questions or comments, please let them be known down in the comments. Any good questions we will answer next time around. So now sit back, relax, and enjoy. Ready to go?
I'm very ready, man. I'm super
All
excited for
right.
this week's news.
Yeah, no, definitely. So first piece of news is the Fortnite combat shotgun. So the combat shotgun, as well as two other guns, have been removed from Fortnite, which is having
Ooh.
people go crazy.
Ooh. I'm
Yeah. So
honestly
according to the
I'm
what's up?
honestly kind of happy about this. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't. I mean, the last I never really played with the combat shotgun. I played with it like when it came out. I played with it for a bit, and then I kind of stopped. I kind of fell off after that.
It's just, dude, like the combat shotgun was just like it was the combination of the pump and the tactical, and it fired so quick, and
That
its
sounds
its
beautiful, though.
its ammo capacity was too high. It just destroyed people. It had long range too. It just I didn't have good enough aim to use it well, so I would just always get clapped by it. So I think I kind of have a
Okay.
bias against it, but like,
Yeah. Well, that's like what people were saying. It's like people who were pissed about it, and then people were, glad that it was gone. But according to the New York Post, yeah. Side note: the first sentence of the article reads, "quote This virtual gun has been shot down." So thanks,
oh,
New York. Thanks, New York Post. The combat shotgun, along with two other guns, has been removed from the game, and some fans are not happy. Many complained that it was much too OP and took away from the tactical skill base, allowing less skilled players to win simply by possessing the gun.
mm,
Other players are simply upset that it was removed because it was a fan favorite weapon.
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so Twitter user at Jason Evans 91 tweets in all caps, quote, "Combat vaulted, holy mother of God, the end is nigh."
Wow,
While Twitter user, wow.
wow.
Well, Twitter user and streamer MTP Gaming at gaming underscore ATP tweets in response to Ali A, who was, said something similar like, "Oh, it got combat vaulted. Why you crying? Quote, why you crying? I hated that gun. Way too overpowered. Thank God the pump meta is back." So the results are pretty mixed. Is the pump ever removed?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
the pump got vaulted for I believe a few months, but we all knew it was going to come back at one point. And that's kind of when the combat shotgun made its debut, as well as like they had a drum shotgun.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the other one that got removed. It was the drum
mhm.
shotgun, and then one of the
Drum shotgun was
launchers.
just like not super quality. Drum shotgun, it was just like you just shoot essentially a wall of like really low damage bullets at
Yeah,
very
yeah,
high
yeah.
speeds. And then the other gun, the proximity grenade launcher, was so much fun, dude. It was just ludicrously overpowered because it was just like you would see someone and like they'd be like building up, making their little fort, whatever it may be, and you would just send over a
It'll be
round
over.
of the
Yeah.
proximity grenade, and it would just as soon as it was within a certain diameter of them, it just blew up, took them and their shelter with it, and they would just
Honestly,
fall.
that makes sense that they would remove stuff like that.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I guess the
because
combat shotgun is the one that is the most controversial.
yeah, and like I mean, the proximity grenade launcher was kind of just like, do you remember the quad launcher?
No, what was that?
Dude, they had a quad rocket launcher, so you could fire 4 rockets in succession.
No, I was not around for
Yeah,
that.
dude, I mean,
I
the
was not
thing
around
is,
for
it's
that.
like, what do you do? Because you kind of need these overpowered weapons if you're gonna have like a fucking mech walk around the map.
Yeah. No, I mean that was a big problem too because like the mech was just like way too OP.
Yeah, that's
I think we
like
talked about it a couple times ago.
that's ludicrous.
Yeah, no. Okay. But yeah, combat shotgun's gone. Some people are happy, some people aren't. But in esports news, the esports company Fortress Esports has announced its first venue, Fortress Melbourne, and they're currently aiming for a March 2020 launch date. So Melbourne, in Australia, right? So Melbourne, Australia. The venue will plan to have an area footprint of 29,000 square feet, making it the largest esports venue in the Southern Hemisphere.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I don't know where Melbourne is. Where is it? It's Australia. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
super
So
cool.
yeah, so it's there's a bunch of cool stuff that they're doing with this. They're according to Esports Observer, quote, the venue will feature a mix of spaces across multiple levels. The core 200-seat esports arena for major events with an esports bar alongside, a separate tavern-style bar for relaxing and playing tabletop games, which is I really like that. I really
Mhm.
like the idea of like at an esports thing, you can go to like a bar, like the tavern bar, just like play Battlefield or something. Like I think
The
that's cool.
tavern bar.
Yeah,
Play some Magic the Gathering,
yeah,
Dungeons and
exactly.
Dragons, dude. That's
But
badass, yeah.
yeah, right. LAN gaming lounge, a high performance training area for serious teams to boot camp,
What does that mean?
console. So I think it's for like esports teams to go. Like they can like go there, I guess maybe before their competitions and train specifically for that competition, like maybe like that day or like a couple of days beforehand.
Yeah,
um
it just seems peculiar to me that there's like a high performance training area. Like
yeah, I mean
what
it's a
is that just a
strange
bunch of
quote.
gaming consoles around? Like what is that?
No, I think it's like I don't know. I assume they have something where it's like it's very team oriented. Like there's like headphones set up so like everyone can like communicate, and
Mhm.
it's like computers set up like in like an esports competition like way. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's what I would assume. I do agree that it's sort of a strange quote. And they call it boot camp for serious teams to boot camp. I don't know, but
Where do you see is this like where do you all see the impact of this? Like how impactful do you think this like Fortress Esports is going to be? Like what do you think this does for the gaming industry?
well, I mean, like this is I think that like the more that like these things like pop up, because this is like it's making it the largest esports venue in the Southern Hemisphere. That's gonna keep growing. There's gonna keep being
Mhm.
more venues that are gonna challenge that because it's becoming like esports. I remember when esports was first being kind of like uh recognized as like a like a sport. I remember when that was like a big thing and like ESPN was like, what do we do? Do we try and like buy into this? And then like they were like,
Mhm.
nah, like fuck that. But now they're actually like hosting esports events like on their channels. So I think that that it's just gonna keep growing. And then there's gonna keep being like newer and like bigger venues
Yeah.
the community grows.
Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely agree. I think these are like the first couple steps where it's like holy crap, we can now go to Melbourne and play, have huge
Yeah,
wide tournaments and like the
people can make
we're
money,
yeah,
like
exactly. We're creating like a new kind of layer of a jumping off point that people can start, you know, I'm going to go to Melbourne, I'm going to get my gaming team out there, I'm going to, start competing in tournaments, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. So it's kind of
mhm.
cool to see that these like physical locations to support people with interest in esports and digital competition are starting to pop up. And I really do like the idea that they're supporting like tabletop games. And
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
seems like they're
no,
trying to make it
it's
almost
cool.
like a like an actual sports stadium, similar to like football
Yeah, that's what I'm
or
thinking. Like
soccer, or
it's
baseball, whatever you want to watch.
yeah, when I think of esports, like what they're trying to do with it, I literally think of it like as they're making it a sport. Soon like I would assume. I mean, it's already kind of like that where people know specific players. They can bet on teams. They know specific players. And they're like, oh, like that's my player. Like I love him or
Hmm.
something because like he like does well. I think that's exactly like what it's becoming. Like they have these venues, these like arenas that are soon going to like pop up in even more places. And it's going to be something where it's like people have like their team, like it's going to be like a commonplace thing for people to have their esports team
Yeah.
if they're involved in that community because like not everyone's in the sport.
Well, here's an interesting idea because esports teams are digital. I mean, they're physical people, but because esports teams are mainly based in a digital world, are people still going to have like home ties to their future esports teams? Like, for example, if you live in the Bay Area, are you going to have
Yeah,
like the Bay Area's
the Bay Area
esports
team.
team? Are you going to have like, is there still going to be that sense of pride, or is it going to be like,
Yeah,
I really vibe with how this esports team portrays themselves. I really like what, you know, the banana
yeah.
smashers over in Thailand are doing with
I
the
was
game.
thinking about that. I
So it's like,
think I. What's
who
up?
has our allegiance? Who has our allegiance?
Yeah, I think it would be specific players in my mind. I don't think it would be teams necessarily
Mm.
because players are coming from all over the place and it's all like kind of remote. And I don't think that the teams would be based in a geographic location necessarily. I think that they'd be separate because they can train remotely. They don't have to train like together like they would like a sports team. So they don't have to be based in a certain location. They can train remotely and then get together at these arenas, like at random venues.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you would
Yeah.
have an allegiance with with a team, I guess I think it would be with like if you
Whoa.
have a certain player that you enjoy
That's very
and you
interesting.
and you follow that player.
So you follow that player. Here's another crazy idea that I've been thinking about. What happens when we get into the realm of fantasy esports? So you start drafting. What happens when you start drafting your favorite esports player
I've
on like
never even thought of that.
a fantasy realm, like DraftKings, but you're drafting, Ninja and whatever other top, you want to invest in, you know, start a draft of the Modern Warfare esports team so that when Modern Warfare drops, you're all of a sudden drafting all of these different esports leagues and into like a
Is
fantasy.
there an esports fantasy league? Like, is that a
I don't
thing?
think so. I haven't heard of anything like it. I think right now it may be a little too underdeveloped to create a fantasy league around it.
Yeah,
That being said, I think that that's a huge market that's untapped, and this just
business venture.
shows. I think stuff like this shows how early on and how profitable the gaming industry is
Oh
because it
yeah,
literally just it is like a creating the sports industry, but in a more all-encompassing way because anyone is able to get
yeah,
onto their PS4, their PC, or even on their mobile phone and play some video games. It's a lot
yeah.
harder
That's well, like it's
NFL
like
or whatever it may be.
it's a specific thing if you're able to afford that stuff.
But
If
I'm
you're able
saying
to afford that, like,
the barrier to entry into video games is far
is just
lower
having like internet
compared to
service
exactly.
and like a gaming platform.
So if you wanted to get really good at mobile gaming, you could download Clash Royale right now. You could start monetizing your channel by posting your clips on Instagram and getting sponsored by people. And then you could actually, enter into tournaments and whatnot all through Clash Royale's actual application. So it's like
Hmm.
all yes, there's a barrier to entry, but it's like if you wanted to, you could spend 8 hours a day playing Clash Royale and looking up Clash Royale videos and get as good as you want to, and then probably even get sponsored by someone to get flown out to like a Clash Royale tournament event. So that's where I see instances like this new stadium in Melbourne coming in really handy because it's like you are now creating that final step for people that have been monetizing their gaming, and you've finally creating that step where it's like now I can go to a center stage and show off myself and show off my name.
Well, there's something else that Fortress Melbourne is doing, or Fortress Esports is not only like are they doing the Fortress Melbourne venue, they're also planning on doing very local community based things as well as like they're because they know that Melbourne is like that's a big venue. That's going to be like the one that's like a big championship. But they're also trying to do like smaller community venues where people like local people can come and do similar things and get them into like the esports world, which I thought was pretty cool.
No, that sounds awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, just all inclusive. That's what I see.
yeah, definitely. No, and I agree that like if like the fact that it's there's a little barrier to getting into something like this, then it's I mean it's crazy. It's gaming's the future. Gaming is the future.
Gaming is the future.
Gaming is the future.
That's the bottom line, y'all.
That's
Gaming.
the bottom line.
You got to get into GCL now because gaming's the
Yeah,
future.
you got
If
to.
you're not, you're going to
Gaming's the
be
future.
sitting there just twiddling your thumbs,
Left behind.
Stop at yourself. So you better get into GCL now because gaming's going to take away
You're running
for
out of
everything
time.
in the digital landscape. We're going to have digitally unique assets for everything, and everything's going to be super awesome and monetized. And we're all going to be doing things the way that
We're all going to be a happy little family.
We're all going to be a happy little family, exactly.
Making GCL together.
We're all going to be holding hands, making GCL together.
Skipping through a field.
Skipping around.
Just go.
Oh, let me buy you your coffee. I won this with GCL. I won all my GCL yesterday. Played really well. Some Apex.
Yeah, bro. Let me buy your coffee.
Let me buy your coffee, sir. Let me pay. You're at Chick-fil-A or like Mickey D's or something. You're like, well, let me pay for the persons behind me. I just want.
I did well in GCL. Tell me it's from Aidan from GCL.
This is why you got to join. Head to GCLgaming.com. Pre-register for that account.
All right, and moving on to a little bit of Twitch, action, a little bit of integration, which I think is a good thing. Kind of what we're talking about, normalization. Also, according to Esports Observer, great news site, Twitch has become the official exclusive streaming service for the National Women's Hockey League. So starting October 5th, a 3-year deal has been made where all NWHL programs and games, including the regular season, Isabel Cup and Isabel Cup playoff, any special event games, will be hosted exclusively by the Twitch service and only the Twitch service. And this is meant to open up innovative content and connect the viewers more closely with the programs, which I think is cool. I think that's interesting that we're talking about esports and Twitch, which is something that hosts, or does esport, video games like stuff, is actually doing a sport specific thing on its program.
Mm. Yeah,
I'm not sure how large like the NWHL community is, but
I'm sure
it's still cool.
No matter what, they have. I think it's the National Women's Hockey League.
Yeah, no, of course.
I'm sure they have like some form of heat to them. I'm sure they have some form of community.
Yeah,
and it's gotta be strong too if Twitch is willing to, because I'm sure Twitch also had to work out something on their end in order to become the exclusive provider of their content.
Yeah, so they're introducing broadcast fees. So the first time NWHL is introducing broadcast fees. So revenue from the Twitch agreement will be split between the hockey league and the actual players. So the hockey league is getting a cut of these broadcast fees, I guess. But I think the main idea is that Twitch is something. It's not like a television, streaming service. It's something where it's like you can actually comment live on stuff, which I'm not sure is very common in like streaming services. I know Mixer is gonna have that. But like, Hulu is a streaming service, but you can't comment on live stuff, can you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
you can comment. Well, the thing is the thing isn't going on live. It's like you can stream it, but it's like that isn't like the first debut of that episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, of course. I think NWHL is going to do something where it's like, I think that's going to be where
that's going to be the pivotal point.
I think so. I'm not entirely sure, but I believe that, because that's the benefit of Twitch, is that you can, like, people can interact with it like right there, while they're watching it. I don't know, but I do know that Twitch is hoping to expand viewership, introduce a new demographic to the sports genre of television, which is why they're kind of doing this because there's a lot of people that don't watch like actual television, like cable television. So I think they're trying to tap into that demographic, the one that that adheres to Twitch and Hulu and Mixer.
Well, here's an idea. So how in your average sports games that you go to now, when you enter the stadium and whatnot during the halftime, during whenever you have certain events that the fans almost interact with. Where
Hmm.
I see instances like the NWHL getting involved with Twitch being very useful and creating a lot of benefit for the consumer is now you can start like having those interactions between your digital viewers and your actual like physical going on. So it's like your
Yeah, the
halftime
people who are
show.
actually there at the game.
So it's like now it's like you can almost participate in the game from a digital place. So it's like I can still be a part of the halftime show by trying to win, a $500 gift card to Amazon. I can still
Hmm.
be a part of that, but I didn't
Yeah,
need to pay for a ticket in order to get to the door.
yeah,
I
no,
could
no, no,
watch it from
definitely.
afar and I can still enjoy and be a part of this cool, interactive, consumer centric experience, which I think would be super badass.
Yeah, totally. No, no, no. I like that because then it's like, yeah. I mean, again, it's inclusive, definitely, but like also it's I like they said, like they want more interactivity.
Mhm.
Before like between the NWHL, like the actual games and the viewers, and it's way easier to do that remotely because anyone can just like switch on their computer and watch it through Twitch, and it's free.
Yeah.
And there's commercials too, but like it's like a actual like television, like an actual like channel.
And it's like this is going on right now. This is going on live. So it's like if
Hmm.
some player, if there's a bad call, you can see the entire comment section just blowing up saying like, what the hell, ref? Like you suck,
Yeah, I
or
hope they do
instances
something like
like
that.
that.
Or
Like,
something that could be cool is that they monitor like the chat,
mm,
and like on like a billboard, like they have that chat going,
mm,
so people can see that like at the game.
that would be so cool.
That would
Dude,
be
that
pretty
would be
cool, I
so
think.
cool, dude.
But like of course like monitored, so like people aren't like spamming it, like saying bad stuff. But
My real question is what happens? So Twitch right now is going to stream for the NWHL, but what
mhm.
happens when the NWHL in real life starts competing with, you know, the video game version of hockey? What happens when there's competition between the esports league and the sports league of video of like, so you have the real
Oh,
sport
I
and then you
don't.
have the video game sport. What happens when
I
the
think
real
that's far
sport and
fetched.
video game sport start competing with one another? This isn't far-fetched though, because we're already
I
seeing
think
this
that's far
happening.
fetched.
We're already seeing this happening because
Well, I
right
mean,
now we're already seeing a lot of people go to like League of Legends tournaments over watching the Super Bowl, like what
well, no,
Chris
no,
and I
I'm
discussed in the last
no, definitely,
podcast.
but that's demographic. That's demographic. That I don't think that has to do with like people. Like if the demographic is sports lovers, I don't think there's going to be any loss. And the NWHL lovers, I don't think there's going to be any loss between them and people going to watch video game, NHL.
But here's where I'm going with it is I as the viewer might decide to opt to watch the video game version of NWHL and watch the best esports teams compete in NWHL over the actual physical one, because in the digital one I can be more plugged into. Maybe it's a VR based experience where I can put on my headset and I can literally look through the eyes of the player with the puck because they
Well,
are a video game.
that I mean that I think that's like something that would not be a problem for a long time, definitely.
I think that
But
that's right
again,
around the corner.
yeah, but no, that I don't think that's right around the corner.
I
That
think that
that
that's like
you
next
can.
5 years, easy.
I think that there's always going to be that demographic. There's always going to be a demographic that's going to watch the actual physical sports, and then the one that's going to watch like the video game sports. I don't think that's like it's going to be very. I don't think like that's going to take away. I don't think like there's going to be any like taking away from the actual sports people, because people who like actual sports are always going to like actual sports, physical, like
Mm.
watching real people do it. Because then it's not like it's not people controlling the character. It's like that person is that actual person, you
But what
know.
happens when you dive into VR with this? What happens when I have a 360-degree directional treadmill underneath me and I have a fully retrofitted like exoskeleton of
That's not
sensors?
gonna, yeah, that's not next 5 years, bro.
That's
Like,
next
that's not
five
next
years,
5 years.
bro. I
No, it is
promise you
not.
that's
That is
we
not, that is
already
not a,
we already have
yeah, but not like, not as a
shirts.
consumer, not a consumer thing.
No, we already have consumer shirts that have essential. You wear a shirt, and it's kind of like something straight out of Ready Player One Oasis, where
Yeah, I
it's
know what you're
like it
talking about.
has 24 motors across the shirts to essentially provide vibrations throughout your bodies. Developing these, like if you look at the latest VR gloves and like VR handling equipment,
Hmm.
and like even like VR feet items, adding in feet support with that like make it easier to operate VR while sitting in a chair. Like all this innovation is
No,
occurring because we have
it's
this
definitely
hotbed.
happening very quickly. I just don't think that that's going to be a very normal thing within 5 years. I think that it will be
Okay,
definitely
maybe
soon.
let's call it 10.
I think that it, like, stuff like that will definitely be normalized within 10 years. I just think that within 5 years, it's still, because virtual reality, like, it's still getting traction. Like, it's still
It is
in
still getting
its
traction.
early stages.
But the use cases of it have proved to be radical. And where
Hmm.
I see the insanity beginning is when you have VR based gaming, right? So I'm playing video
Yeah,
games in a VR experience, but
yeah.
I'm playing AAA titles that require massive amounts of computing data off of my iPhone because my iPhone is connected to cloud computing. So things like Google Stadia, which are paving the way for cloud-based gaming, where it's like
Hmm.
I can stream a VR experience in my headset where I am like a hockey player and I can essentially
Yeah.
play with. I could literally go to a park, meet up with 5 other buddies. We all put on our headsets. We're all hooked up to cloud-based computing, and we're all playing hockey just through our headsets. Like instances where like this, where it's like this still requires some physical activity. Imagine
Only, I mean, like,
I
only
put on
time
my
will tell if
phone.
that's going to be like a,
Mm.
like a feasible thing, you
But where
know?
I
And
see
I
it
think
is it totally will. Because think about it. I put on my phone. It has cloud-based computing behind it. It switches to augmented reality mode. I'm essentially just looking through my phone, and I look
yeah.
at the ground, and then there's a digital puck right there, and I'm holding a digital a hockey stick. I'm holding a digital hockey stick, and I'm able to run around with the 5 other dudes, and we're playing hockey, and none of us have equipment.
Yeah, no, like,
Like,
I
how cool would
understand.
that be? That would be
No, I
so
understand. Like,
radical.
yeah. I think that, like it'll be something where it'll be remote first before I think it's able to be something like that, because that's intense. Like, cuz that, like, there's problems like that come along with that. Like, cuz, like, the spacing, like, until they get like the spacing right, like having like your
Mhm.
surroundings also in like the same
Oh,
area.
tons of error, tons of room for
Yeah,
error.
I think that, like, it's just going to take a long time to, like, perfect stuff like that.
But where I see the craziness occurring, like I've said, is in cloud-based computing, because
Yeah.
cloud-based computing creates this effect where the more people attach to the network, the more power the network has. So it's
Mhm.
like this network can churn out tons and tons of cloud-based computing, and everyone that's connected to it maybe can get paid a couple, however much money in order to provide a little bit of their phone's computing power, so that when their phone's in their pocket doing nothing, 20 it uses your battery, but a little bit of your computing power goes to a cloud-based computing network, and then you're able
Mhm.
to actually make money off of your phone being in sleep mode and using a
Yeah,
bit of
yeah.
computing power, like things like that. So it's like me just walking around having my phone count my steps because I'm playing Pokemon Go or whatever. I could also contribute some of my computational power to a grid, get paid for it, and allow other people to enjoy these games. So where I see it is it's like once we can start giving each other cloud-based computing power,
Computational power.
everything changes once computational power is distributed and anyone is allowed to tap in to either
Mhm.
request computing power or to give computing power. Because then it's like
Yeah.
I might want to create some sort of passive income where in my basement I buy almost like a couple servers to create computational power for a cloud, similar to how solar energy produces energy for back to the grid that you can get paid for by the government.
I mean, consoles are already starting to do that
Yeah,
because, like,
so
I
like,
know that because
boom.
man, was it PS Vita? No, it's not PS Vita.
PS Vita is the small one, the
No,
small
yeah, I'm
like
not
little
talking about PS Vita.
handheld.
That's like the yeah, I know what I know what you're talking about. That's like the PlayStation like portable, the PSP. Um, the man, what's it called? The PlayStation has a streaming service basically where you can play old games because they have them up on servers already. So I was playing the original Infamous, a couple months ago because I was able to stream the game through my PS4. Like
Mhm.
and everything became like a PS3 display.
That's
And like
awesome.
I don't think that's like that's definitely not like a client based thing. That's not like I think it's from the actual PlayStation servers. But
Mhm.
I think like what you're talking about soon is people are going to be able to like make their own servers and
Mhm.
plan like give out their own computational like data, like give out their own like computer like processing power to provide stuff like that, like games for other people.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, it sounds a lot like Bitcoin mining to me.
Mm-hmm.
It really sounds like
Yeah.
a lot like Bitcoin mining to me, where it's like you create a decentralized network of people that contribute to
Yeah.
computational power. That's
And
essentially Bitcoin mining
all you're
is.
just doing is just putting in energy. It's just energy
Oh
and like the
yeah,
power that comes from your computer.
it's just energy going in, and then the output being computational power. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
plug in my mining box, my server, my rig,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it may be. I plug that into my wall. I'm paying that electricity cost, but I'm
But you're
making
also getting
revenue.
paid.
I'm
Yeah,
making profits off of my little rig running in my basement and providing computational power to a network,
definitely. Yeah,
which is
I mean,
ludicrous. That blows everything. Like, as if you have an internet connection, a strong enough internet connection, you can essentially increase the throughput of all the activities you're doing so that your crappy little, 8-year-old Mac could run crazy games as long as it has a quality internet connection.
but it's going to be a similar situation, like in that, like it's going to be a similar situation as Bitcoin mining, where like a corporation is going to take over
Mhm.
and make a massive warehouse full of those rigs, full of those
That's
like
already what
server
we have.
boxes.
That's
Yeah,
already
no, but I'm saying like people, it's the same thing as Bitcoin mining, like because you can't really make a serious amount of money from Bitcoin mining unless you have it on like a large scale.
right now. So you can't
Right now,
right now
sure.
Bitcoin, if I were to buy a mining rig, Bitcoin wouldn't be profitable because
Hmm.
the Bitcoin I'd be receiving at today's value wouldn't be
It doesn't
like
equate like the electricity
it
cost
wouldn't create margins on top of the electricity cost. Exactly.
or
However,
the cooling
I
cost.
would I would argue that Bitcoin mining is still profitable right now because if you believe that Bitcoin is going to be
Going
appreciated
to
in
increase.
value, then it's
Hmm.
like, well, if I believe that Bitcoin is going to be appreciated in value right now, the cost of having a mining rig it's more
It's an investment.
from the electrical side of things than the amount of
Yeah.
Bitcoin that I'm getting out. That being said, I'm still in my mind, and purely from like just like personal opinion, not
Hmm.
financial advice, I think that Bitcoin is going to be rising in value. So even if you're mining stuff right now and you're in the red, I think you'd be in the green, and not too long of an investment period.
Yeah, definitely.
That
No,
being
I mean,
said, yeah.
I agree that that's definitely like a reasonable argument for that.
That being said, it's just like, well, if I have to pay an extra $400 a month on my electricity bill for a mining rig, what if I just threw that $400 into Bitcoin?
Yeah.
What if I just like didn't
Yeah.
have the miner in the first place? But who knows?
I don't know. I just know that the like because like there's people who it's not even like a corporation. It's like but they form these companies where it's like they just create this giant warehouse for the Bitcoin mining. And that's what and then at that point then it's like becomes more profitable.
Mhm.
But we should move on. We've been
Yeah.
stuck on this for a little bit. So a little bit of fun news. A comment that garnered over 660,000 downvotes on Reddit has recently made it into the Guinness World Records. So this comment, which I didn't think was very surprising, was one made on behalf of EA's loot box system at the launch of Star Wars Battlefront 2. And actually, I'm not entirely sure if it's an actual loot box system because I never played the second one. I played the first one, but it's the idea of pay to win, that people can't stand, that EA loves to fucking do. But so in response to someone being upset about having to pay money in order to unlock Darth Vader as a playable character. So yeah, it's basically what happens is you have to get these characters. Once you get the game, you have to purchase these characters with credits. And these credits you earn by doing things in game, by playing games. But it takes you a really long time to get these credits for you to be able to unlock Darth Vader. And there's also definitely loot box systems where it's like you have to earn these credits to get the loot box. And once you get the loot box, there's not even a full like 100% chance that you're gonna get a character. I guess, like in general, like you don't 100%, you don't get exactly what you want to get. So, someone was upset about it. They're like, why do I have to pay, money just because I want to get Darth Vader right now? I paid $80 for the game or whatever.
Yeah, that's ludicrous.
A community manager responded with, his first sentence was, quote, "The intent is to provide players with a sense of pride and accomplishment for unlocking different heroes." And that was not taken kindly because it got 660 something thousand downvotes, because it's ridiculous. A sense of pride and accomplishment for unlocking the heroes. Once you buy the game, you should be able to have the hero. It's part of the game.
Your pride and accomplishment should be coming from a badass double backflip that you did while you fucking were force choking someone and throwing your lightsaber. Like, that's the sense of accomplishment. The sense of accomplishment is not in, oh yes, the lock symbol is gone on Darth Vader. I can finally play this character.
2 weeks.
Now I can finally play as Darth Vader, my favorite character. Like,
yeah,
dude, that's not. No, you're thinking the wrong way about this, EA.
Yeah, so on Guinness World, I mean, but they love that shit, because they know that people are going to not want to spend the time to get it, so they're just gonna say fuck it and then pay money for it, and then they're like, more fucking money, because EA needs that. Like, I don't know.
It's just like, EA, take a step back, look at what your consumers actually want, and just give it to them.
Yeah, in their defense, they did end up rolling back on the system. They did, kind of, because they understood that people rioted that stuff. And if you go onto EA, the EA community, for Battlefront 2, every single one of the comments made by the community managers have 20,000 downvotes. Because nobody wants to hear what they're saying, because it's everyone thinks it's ridiculous. But Battlefront 2 is it's not doing terrible now. It's just that they try and implement these things and see if they can get by with it.
It wasn't a polished game. It was as if they were launching a prototype, and their focus group was anyone willing to buy it. And then
they had the beta, but the thing is, they changed things from the beta. They had things from the beta, and then they made it more expensive in the actual game.
Create the least amount of consumer friction. Obviously, the EA's got to make money. I get it. EA, you have to make money. That's how you're going to stay in business. But if you're making
not this,
$60 for an unpolished game that you're then going to make some people pay to win, and then you're going to roll it back. You roll back the pay to win. You're pleasing some people, but then the people who bought Darth Vader are now what the fuck? I need my money back.
I think that's why people are getting
that spot.
Oh, and another thing is, people wanted to get their money back, and they were like, once you receive the game, if you've given money, you can't get a refund. You have to contact EA if you want anything. So that's good.
Yeah.
But this is why Call of Duty is Modern Warfare is getting a lot of excitement, because they're not doing stuff like that. It's most of the stuff is aesthetic, it's cosmetic. I mean,
it should all be cosmetic.
It should all be cosmetic. If you're gonna earn things through loot boxes, it should just make it look cool.
Yeah.
Not play different, which is a problem that Call of Duty World War II had a problem with.
And we all know that Fortnite proved this to us. Fortnite proved it to us. If you can give people interesting and unique enough skins and characters and emotes that allow
Yeah,
them to
people pay money for
customize
that.
people, that's literally how Fortnite
Yeah,
makes money. Who the fuck is buying the
exactly.
founders pack to play Save the World? No one's playing fucking Save the World
Yeah,
on Fortnite.
yeah,
Everyone's playing Fortnite Battle Royale. Everyone's playing the multiplayer version.
yeah. That's facts. I forgot that it has like a
Dude, that was its original intent
I
was
know, I
creating like
remember.
a zombie survival building game. And then they had a battle royale like multiplayer as like a side off
It's like a
idea.
side thing. Oh man, and that's how it goes.
And it's still technically in early access, I think.
Oh god.
Because you can still buy the founders pack. So it's like, what happens when Fortnite the full game comes out?
No, it's gonna be in early access forever. That would be
Like
the biggest
but
mistake
it's
to
like
like.
Fortnite the full game gonna cost like $60.
Oh, maybe no. God,
That's
they're
what
gonna
I'm
do this.
saying.
They're gonna try it once Fortnite starts like dying. They're gonna try and like bring it back by saying the full game is out now.
The full game's out now.
The full game's out now.
Pay $60 for the game you used to play for free.
Nah, I doubt they would do that because no one would play that.
No, there'd be such an uproar. Plus, Fortnite,
Yeah,
do they really need that money? No,
they don't. Epic
they
Games
don't.
is got filthy rich in a very short amount of time.
Yeah, dude, they're loaded, man. They
They
don't
are
need that.
loaded. No.
They are
Okay,
so
but
loaded.
moving on a little bit, we're going to blockchain news, a little cryptocurrency
Blockchain.
news. Coinbase and Hurricane Dorian. So,
Blockchain.
according to the beloved Yahoo News, Coinbase has partnered with nonprofit organization Lend a Hand Bahamas to help victims of Hurricane Dorian. So
That's
the
awesome.
organization has, yeah, no, it's awesome. The organization has partnered with both Coinbase and BitPay. Lend a Hand Bahamas has partnered with both of them to give the opportunity for clients to donate Bitcoin for aid services, as well as being able to donate other things such as like toilet paper, like essentials like toilet paper and water, and all that stuff, which I think is great. I mean, it's a great idea, and the money is intended to go to the youth and adults who are being forced to evacuate the Abaco and Grand Bahama Islands and relocated to Nassau. There's
Wow,
also money going into education services for people trying to get back into their lives once they, head back home.
that's awesome.
Yeah, no,
That's
definitely.
really cool. And where I see an instant benefit, because some people might be saying like, why don't you just donate US dollars or a fiat currency or
Hmm.
some central government controlled currency? Where I see this being super cool is that Coinbase can now, through Lend a Hand Bahamas, they can give them cryptocurrency and like Bitcoin and Ethereum, whatever they want to give them, without having any transaction fees, so that the amount of money
Uh-huh.
that's being donated is going from
Is a hundred
exactly
percent.
their pockets to. That being said, Coinbase does have some strong fees in terms of the average cryptocurrency exchange, but those fees I'm sure are far less than what would be if this was like
Actually transferred over.
a bank transfer. Think about the difference between the aid relief services that are being donated via Bitcoin versus the US dollar. The US dollar,
Yeah.
everyone's gonna take a little piece of the pie before the money actually gets to
Before it
where it
actually
needs
gets
to
to like
be.
where, yeah. The a higher percentage of what you actually donate is going to be going to
Mm,
the actual program, the actual Lend a Hand Bahamas.
that's insane. That is
Yeah, which is
absolutely
which is which is
ludicrous.
awesome.
But like that's like I could literally donate the money that I have in my Bitcoin wallet right now, and I could
Mhm.
send it to someone in need of aid relief, but I could make it so that my Bitcoin would go directly from my wallet to their wallet, so that there would be a direct transfer and no bank would be able to say yes or no, you can't do this transaction, or
Mhm.
yes, we are going to take this transaction, we're going to take 15% of it for ourselves.
And that has to do with what you and Chris were talking about with the credit cards, the cryptocurrency
Mm-hmm.
like credit card. Because once like I mean like once they get that like right into their wallet, they have it immediately. It's
Exactly.
something that they can use like to purchase things. especially like things that they need like right away. Like in the case, it's hard because it's, you know, these people are being relocated from their homes like somewhere else where it's just like simply safe. But you know, the whole point of this is that this money is going to help people, like help fund their relocation as well as their reintroduction back home, you know.
And this is an even better
But
reason
in
on why to
general,
use
yeah.
crypto. That's an even
Yeah.
better reason to use crypto. If
Yeah.
people are going to have to be, you know, stripped from their homes due to this hurricane, and we're providing them with cryptocurrency as a methods to get back on their feet, what's amazing about that is no matter where they relocate to, as long as where they relocate to has some sort of electricity network, some sort of power grid, as well as an internet connection, that Bitcoin they have, or whatever cryptocurrency they got from Coinbase and BitPay, they will still be able to live on because they don't need to go to a central bank or have some sort of central institution or authority. All they need is the
They'll have it
internet connection
immediately.
and electricity in their pocket. And no matter
Yeah.
where they go, they will 100% have access to real world value that they can then spend on getting a new property.
Yeah.
So this
And
is
people
where
and like
exactly. This is where
and
everything comes together.
yeah. And people like which is why I love the idea of the cryptocurrency of the credit card, because people are worried about that. They're like, oh, like it doesn't have, like, you can't like use it. It's not real like money. It's when you introduce something where it's like people can actually take it out and use it, like spend it like it would be real money, then it's like it changes the whole game.
Yeah, because then it's like I heard this in one of these like Instagram ad pop-ups, but it was this guy who was saying, he's like, you have to make your investments real. You have to liquidate a little bit of your assets and spend them so that you understand what they're doing for you.
Yeah.
This was something really interesting where it's like, of course, I'm going to try to keep as much Bitcoin as I want. But for example, I decided to buy NordVPN with Ethereum for the pure simple reason. I was like, do I want to buy ExpressVPN or NordVPN? And I was like, I'm going to buy NordVPN because they take Ethereum. And the simple
It
thought
once
where it's like, I bought something with Ethereum, it made it very
Yeah.
real to me that I can now buy digital services and software with cryptocurrency.
The value increases for yourself.
Exactly.
Once you realize that you have the ability, like once you realize the value of your own investment, it increases for yourself. It makes it more worth it in a sense.
So like making that investment real, because for example, I have the Brave browser, which allows me to get rewarded with basic attention token, cryptocurrency with real world value for watching advertisements that are just like pop-up notifications on my browser. It removes all other advertisements from my browser. I see nothing but a pop-up notification. I can choose in between. Do I want to see 1 to 5 an hour? Right.
Yeah.
And then I've actually made almost $20 in the past like 4 or 5 months off of just watching ads. And this is an appreciating asset. So that $20 could be worth 50 in a few months.
Yeah, totally.
And it's ludicrous to me that right now, if you, the person who is watching this, is a streamer or a content creator and they have a YouTube account, a website, or a Twitch, I can go on your account and I can click a little triangle in the top of my browser and I can donate you real world value in the form of a basic attention token cryptocurrency just because I like your content. I can go on your Twitter account and I can tip you like $1 or more just based off of the content that I see that I enjoy. So this is already becoming so real to me because I've already gone to one of my favorite cryptocurrency YouTubers, Crypto Daily, hit that little triangle and donated him 30 cents of basic attention token as a thank you for creating daily good quality content on cryptocurrency. And this is something that like I could do for anyone in GCL, any one of the GCL community members. They could produce a piece of content about GCL or really high quality gaming content, or their stream is really quality. And I could actually go on there and show my support and speak with my value.
This is going to become widespread. That's literally the future, where it's like you have your money like digitally right there. If you enjoy something, you don't have to like enter a credit card number. It's right there.
Right
You're able to like you said, tip people just because you enjoy what they're creating. Yeah, I mean that's like, yeah, okay. So going to Justin Sun and Warren Buffett. This was interesting. This is the strangest article I was reading through. It's just not strange, but interesting. So according to Crypto Slate, quote, Justin Sun, CEO of Tron and BitTorrent, was expected to sit down with Warren Buffett, on July 25th after winning a record bid of $4.6 million in a charity auction. However, the Chinese entrepreneur had to abruptly postpone the meeting due to health issues, and according to the Tron Foundation, and the health issues being kidney stones. I'm sure those suck. But so some other big names.
$4.6 million to have lunch with Warren Buffett.
No. I think no. I don't think that's what it is.
No, that's what it is. He bid $4.6 million in order to have lunch with Warren Buffett.
Really?
Yeah. So the whole this was all over crypto Twitter. That's why I know about it.
Oh yeah.
He essentially, there's this huge bid. He bid $4.6 million, which surprised the crypto community because they're like, dude, you're the CEO of Tron. That $4.6 million shouldn't be coming from the CEO of Tron. You have a fucking cryptocurrency network to build. Why are you spending $4.6 million on sitting down with a very intelligent investor, but who has historically never ever wanted to touch technology?
No, but that's why this is interesting. That's why the second part is interesting, because he abruptly postpones. Just strange. According to health issues, kidney stones.
I don't think he's gonna want to sit down at the lunch table.
Yeah, but that makes sense. But although the Buffett team claimed to have no problem with this, this is happening in the midst of accusations by Chinese media against Sun for claiming he's involved with illegal activities, such as pornography-related transactions through his company. But people are skeptical about these accusations, such as Leonard Weiss, the president of the Bitcoin Association of Hong Kong, who said, quote, Justin Sun's main crime is probably to have so openly flaunted his wealth. The authorities don't like this kind of personality cult, and this money being thrown around. So nothing's certain, but it's strange. It's strange to see that, he paid this $4.6 million for the charity auction, but for the lunch with Buffett, and he abruptly postponed, which is probably true. But in the midst of weird Chinese media, claims that he's in legal trouble, and apparently, it is said that he was held at by Border Patrol when he was trying to leave for the lunch or something.
Wow.
But they didn't comment on that. But of course that could just be Chinese media,
story.
Yeah, we don't know the full story. Okay, actually, you keep talking about this. I'm gonna be right back.
All right. So yeah, I mean, moving forward in this topic, I was a little shocked at the untimely situation of all these events.
Actually, I can probably keep talking. Keep going.
It seems so unfortunate and so devastating that you paid $4.6 million in order to hit a single date so that you could try to convince a major investor, someone who's literally claimed Bitcoin is the equivalent of rat poison, and hangs around and speaks with people the likes who actually say that it's a better investment to buy dead baby fetuses than Bitcoin. So imagine you're a dude. This is the story. This is the story arc of Justin Sun trying to get Warren Buffett to get into crypto.
Yeah, maybe he's a hero. Maybe he's trying to bring Buffett to the cryptocurrency community. He's doing this. He's sacrificing himself.
I would love to see it, but you got to think about what's going through Justin Sung's head. This is a dude.
No, he's thinking about pornography, bro.
This is a dude who literally has accusations on pornography, and he's saying, I'm going to go to a guy who's called Bitcoin rat poison, pay $4.6 million when I have suspicions underneath me in order to get a lunch with someone who believes Bitcoin is equivalent to rat poison. This doesn't make sense, dude. And then you have to pass a fucking kidney stone on the dude. This is some stuff straight out of a movie.
Kidney stones, those are Those are painful. They're crippling.
I'm sure.
That's not even like sarcasm. Like
I'm just saying, like, dude, $4.6 million to talk to a guy who doesn't give a fuck about Bitcoin or doesn't invest in technology. Like, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense.
well,
Is what I'm
okay,
coming down to.
so this is I think I agree it doesn't make sense. I can't imagine what his motive, like his ulterior motive would be for like doing this if he's not like just trying to like, talk with Buffett about like, Bitcoin and try and get him on board. But other people that are going to be there. So it's not just gonna be them two, Other people that are also gonna be there are
That's
eToro
true.
CEO Yanni Asia, Litecoin's creator Charlie Lee, and Circle CEO Jeremy Allaire. And Jeremy Allaire is the guy who was in front of the he went in front of the God, who is it? Not the was it the Supreme Court that he went in front of trying to defend cryptocurrency?
I don't know. I'm not sure on that regard.
That's something I can find out. But it's they're all people who are obviously going to be they're influential in the cryptocurrency community. They're definitely like there's definitely a reason for this. Like it's trying to like bring like two sides together that Buffett obviously doesn't agree with, and try and I guess get him on the side.
Exactly.
I don't know.
I mean, let's hope if Buffett's down, I'd be down to have Buffett as an investor.
Yeah, you know what?
Hey, man, you want to invest in GCL?
I'll have lunch with Buffett. That's
I would totally hear Warren Buffett's. I'd eat Denny's with Warren Buffett.
Yeah, absolutely. I go to Denny's at 3 a.m. with Warren Buffett.
Totally. That's like where he eats.
It was the Senate Banking Community, Senate Banking Committee that Jeremy testified in front of. But yeah, okay, so it's that went down, and so nothing's certain, but we have yet to see a solidified rescheduling. But I'm sure it'll happen. I don't think I seriously doubt that maybe there's some possibly sketchy stuff going around Justin Sun, but I don't think that he is on like a major like crime scale where it's like he's got pornography related stuff, transactions.
Let's hope
maybe
not.
if stuff is happening like that through him, I doubt he is very like knowledgeable of it, or like he's like directly involved, because that's a big problem with cryptocurrency, is that it's used in the dark web, for drug purchasing, like people buy their fake like IDs with like with Bitcoin.
Yeah, with Bitcoin.
So
totally.
I think that's just like another symptom of what's going on with Justin Sun.
Yeah,
but
it's one of those things where it's like crypto has a broad problem.
Yeah, it has a broad problem. And
people are going to use Tron to do things that Justin Sun would prefer they different.
Yeah, it put us on a bad name, but like it can't really be helped at the moment, at least. Okay, but moving on to our final piece, which I thought that was sick. This is my favorite one by far. So if you haven't heard of Satoshi's Treasure yet, it's an alternate reality game. Satoshi's Treasure yet. It's an alternate reality game where keys worth $1 million in Bitcoin have been hidden across the globe. The game has no rules. The game has no rules, but a series of clues have been released to the people who have signed up for the newsletter. I wrote that twice. The clues range from scavenger hunts to logical or mathematical problems that someone must solve to get the key fragments. And the key has been separated. Thank you. The key has been separated into 1,000 pieces, but a team or one person only needs to find 400 of them to move the funds. And people compare this, or I guess I think it was the co-founder who compared this to Ready Player One. The kind of like the keys and the eggs that need to be found like in the book.
That's immediately
or like that's what came to my head too, like for to run the Oasis, to like you had to find like the diamond key or something. I don't know.
You have to find the 3 keys. It totally sounds like this, but it's like, my question is it's just like, who decided us, a small mysterious company based on a tropical island, that's sponsored by Primitive Ventures,
Yeah,
is
let
gonna
me explain this.
like this sounds like some like I said, this sounds like some stuff out of a movie. Like, dude, like
It is.
$1
Yeah.
million worth of Bitcoin has been hidden in 1,000 keys across the world. Like,
Yeah. So according to CoinDesk, quote, the game is operated by a small mysterious company based on a tropical island.
what?
And then parentheses figuring out more about the game itself is part of the appeal, which I think is cool. And is sponsored by Primitive Ventures and other prominent investors. Eventually, there will be hundreds of cryptographic keys around the world, shrouded in puzzles and riddles. So the thing is, what makes this a little bit less mysterious is that the person who donated the majority of this is he's out. He talks about this. It's that it's him and then a bunch of like kind of mysterious investors made up for like the rest of it. But he made up most of the 1 million Bitcoin, donation, I guess, which is a big
that's
donation.
that's a huge donation. But
Yeah,
it's
he
just
probably
like,
donated like what, like 600,000 at least.
yeah, like I'm just wondering. It's like I'm not gonna complain, man, because
No, I
sweet.
think it's
I would
sick. It's
love,
awesome.
dude, if I can find 400. Let's hope there's
400
400 keys
keys
around San Francisco, and
just nearby.
I mean, I just my one thing about this is I think it's super awesome, and I think it's just like this is just a great demonstration of the technology's power. This
Yeah,
dude was literally
it's
like,
potential.
"Hey,
It's,
I'm gonna put like $1 million worth
put a
of an
million dollars in,
appreciating
in a
asset."
I'm gonna put one key, cut it into 1,000 pieces,
Yeah, like
and then
that's just so
throw it
cool.
everywhere.
That just shows you how moldable this currency is. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this
You can put a
sounds
$1 million and break it into 1,000 pieces. Like, how else can you do that?
like that's not possible. Like imagine trying to do that with like fiat.
Yeah, yeah,
You just the closest thing you could do would be to hide like a $10,000 here, $10,000 there, like
yeah, yeah.
hide tens of thousands of dollars across the world. But this is like, holy crap, you're creating geocache of keys to a
hmm
wallet. So it's like,
And
wow,
it's
like
just fun.
that just sounds fun.
It's just fun. Like they were just like, all right, everybody, like we're gonna give a bunch of. If you look at the website, it's sick too. Like it looks all
I'm gonna check it out.
it looks like old like input like kind of formats like black and green,
Mhm.
um like if you're like writing code or something. But yeah, I mean it's just cool. And so people are another quote from CoinDesk, quote, now Block Venture Coalition partners Tyler Wellener and Philip Forte
Mhm.
Forte are kicking off a North American campus tour with 20 universities, hosting educational meetups and mini hunts to help students join the game. So a lot of these students want to learn. So what they
Wow.
said, um, a lot of these students want to learn about blockchain and crypto, but their universities haven't caught up to them yet. Wellner told CoinDesk, "We're looking to provide resources for a lot of these different student groups,"
That's
which is
awesome.
like, yeah, which is just it's just sick. It's like the whole idea is sick, and like it's another thing is like the like people have to take like advantage of this because universities are not going to take advantage of this. They're not gonna integrate cryptocurrency like I would say anytime like really soon like on a scale like this where they're educating kids about it. So people are taking it
It's
into their own
changing
hands.
though. It's
Yeah,
changing
it
because
is.
what I'm already seeing is in Portland alone.
Hmm.
Because I've spent a good bit of time in Portland recently. There's a place called PSU, Portland State University, and they actually launched one of the first blockchain certificate programs.
That's
Chris
cool.
Chris Follis, another GCL team member, has actually
Hmm.
taken multiple online courses from like Oxford university in
Hmm.
blockchain in cryptocurrency. So I
Really.
definitely agree. The times of when it's like the college that you're going to or your high school or that, I totally agree. It's like
Hmm.
the times when those places are actually going to start offering blockchain courses are pretty far off when that almost
Hmm.
can become like a standard in
Hmm.
computer science. That being said, where I think it's already showing its faces is more in like I've had classes, I've gone to classes where it's like it's a class on innovation and technology, and they talk
Mhm.
about blockchain and crypto.
Yeah.
So we
No,
have,
no,
I think
definitely.
it's starting to be thrown into the curriculum, but I do agree. It's like, I think we are a little bit ways away from having like a cryptocurrency, like sign up. You can actually make it on your schedule, like
Yeah.
sign up
Well, I
for
think
a
that
blockchain class.
what was it? What was it? The Portland State. What was it? The
Portland State University blockchain
yeah. No,
certificate
but that's
program.
sick, and that's there's also like there's another I don't know exactly which one it is, but they're doing something with marijuana. Like it's actually like a marijuana course that you can take,
Whoa.
and yeah, and that's I gotta remember what college it is, but it's something similar where it's like once it's like it's normalization. It's
Mm.
like once that becomes like more like available to people, it's gonna become more like people are gonna be more interested in it.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. It's like as we get closer to all of this stuff, and it's just like the stigma of cryptocurrency,
Hmm.
um, and the uses of marijuana drop, especially in the uses of marijuana in a different ways than like we've been using it, as the consumer basis has been using it now. What about the uses of just hemp as an industrial plant and it's all of its
Definitely.
amazing properties to severely reduce the amount of carbon used to create the products that we love and use. So
Hmm.
it's like from concrete to our paper, a lot of things can be made with hemp and whatnot. So yeah, I definitely agree. The idea of stigma dropping in a lot of these industries is occurring. The idea that
Yeah.
Bitcoin is rat poison or dead baby fetus or
Yeah,
thin air
it's become it's going
is
away. And like
dropping.
Buffett, old man Buffett, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He'll like the new era is coming. The new generation is
Yeah,
interested.
I think he knows what he's talking about. I just don't think he knows
Mhm.
he knows what he's talking about when it regards to crypto.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean,
He just
he's
doesn't
definitely a
have it
smart man.
there.
He's definitely like a genius. But I think that it like the specifically Buffett thing. People are afraid, they're scared of what they don't know. And
Mhm.
this man has been making money on what he does know for his whole entire life. The
Yeah,
second the second something else like starts joining the table, he's an old man.
he ain't
He's
about it.
worried. He doesn't want the new. Yeah, he doesn't want the new stuff.
He
He
doesn't
wants he
want it.
wants exactly what he like.
He
Yeah,
wants
he
the old
wants exactly
stuff.
what he knows and like what he knows works.
He wants stock in like Coke and
Yeah,
McDonald's.
yeah, exactly. So the second, and he wants to see businesses that are like are working like actual businesses, like and like
Mhm.
that he knows are going to succeed, which is why cryptocurrency it's ambiguous. It's not something that he can look at and see the gears turning specifically and be like, okay, this is going to do well.
Mhm.
I think that's the biggest issue for him.
Mhm.
But yeah,
That
so it's
that and kidney stones.
that and kidney stones. Those are the two things that are the banes of cryptocurrency.
The banes of cryptocurrency.
It's those are the
Warren
biggest
Buffett's
problems.
thoughts on it and Justin Sung's kidney stones.
All right, I think we should start ending it around here.
Yeah, let's call it.
Let's
Well,
call it there.
I hope we
Yep,
have delivered immense amounts of value to every single person watching, viewing, enjoying,
absolutely.
experiencing this podcast because we've been spitting some gnarly facts.
Look,
So
dude,
I
we're spitting
really
facts right
think,
here.
dude, gnarliest of facts have been
Agree or
spit on
disagree?
this
We do be
podcast.
spitting facts right now.
We are spitting facts. So if you're interested in facts, stay
Yeah,
tuned and
stay
join
tuned for the
us.
next time.
Join us GCLgaming.com at GCL Gaming for our social media. Please
There you go.
enjoy
All
and
right, yeah,
live,
and
prosper.
again, so thank you for listening. If you guys stuck through it, if you have any comments or concerns, please let them be known down in the comments. We would love to see them. We have yet to see our first comment, and I would like to see it for this podcast. That's possible. That's my goal. That's my goal. One comment, one question that someone has if you're watching this. Yeah, and that's it. So thank you guys for listening, and hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.